Welcome to the 98th episode of the Meeple Society, a podcast about board games hosted by two longtime role players turned avid board gamers. My name is Katie.
I'm Greg.
On this episode, we're going to talk some crowdfunding, some Halloween stuff, and some games. We're going to do some long terraforming, some short terraforming, some battling for immortality, and even some worship to the Egyptian gods. We'll wrap it all up with some tea-drinking witches. But first, I feel like we owe you an explanation for our short, completely unintentional hiatus.
Yes. Where have we been? Okay, so we missed it because we missed our last recording because we record every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And at the beginning of the 2-week period when we were supposed to record, we had two new arrivals to the house.
Yes.
Well, temporary arrivals.
Yes.
In the form of labradoodles. Or golden doodles.
Golden doodles.
Golden doodles.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've heard us talk about them before. Groot and Rocket, our grand dogs per se, our oldest son and his wife's two dogs. They were out of town for their anniversary for 2 weeks on a very lovely trip to Italy. I'm sure we will hear a lot more about it when we game with them next weekend. But we got to babysit the dogs while they were gone.
Very
now, mind
handful.
you know we also have 3 cats.
Yes.
And at the start of the week, I had agreed to take some time off because not a lot of time off. I was taking a few hours off every day because I was afraid for the cats because the older dog, Groot, likes to chase cats. He thinks cats like to play because one of our previous cats had liked to play with him. These cats don't like to play with him.
He's a big dog.
He's a big dog. Well, by the end of the 2 weeks, I was no longer afraid for the cats. I was afraid for the dogs because the cats had figured out that the dogs were afraid of them when they hissed. So they did a lot of it.
Yes.
And it kept the peace. The dogs no longer chased them, which was wonderful. But it has been a very chaotic 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I came down sick.
You did.
I have been fighting allergies.
Well, and the bad thing is, it's like, and I say unintentional because the weekend got away from us. We didn't even realize we were supposed to be recording until literally a week
just
later.
Everything, all of a sudden, just everything said woof, and it was there. And
the weekend was gone.
Yeah.
And I check my calendar religiously. I know exactly when recording weekends are. And we make plans. Okay, I have the whole weekend blocked off. We have to record this weekend. When do we want to do it? What else is happening? When can we fit it in?
Mm-hmm.
And that weekend, I didn't even look. I knew we had the dogs coming. And it just completely spaced both our minds that it was a recording weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We realized it last weekend, but we still had the dogs.
I was still
You were sick. By that point, you were just starting to get better. You sounded awful.
Mm-hmm.
And we intended to record, and then again, it was just like, no, it's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are.
Yeah, because I could not stop sneezing. My
No.
nose was running. My head was stuffy.
Yeah,
you
you
could
had a
hear
head
it in my
cold.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a head cold
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And I think I'm starting to get one, which is annoying me.
Stay
So I'm
away
hoping,
from me because I'm just
right.
getting over it because
I know.
I'm finally, today I haven't really been sniffing much at all. So
I have been. So we apologize now if you hear that in the video. We both, like I said, he's getting over it. I'm getting it. But we are determined to get this done. Yeah. I don't want to miss another episode.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because we're getting to that 100. So
we are close. We are so close. Yeah, that'll be fun.
That is why we did not have a show last 2 weeks. So
yes, that's why you've missed us for the last month.
We apologize, but hey, life gets in the way sometimes.
Life gets in the way. Yeah.
Health gets in your way
Life
sometimes.
happens.
So
yeah.
So let's move on. So
yes,
I asked this question on Facebook.
I did not see
and
you
I
ask this
actually
question.
had a couple of questions. This was on the Meeple Society Facebook page.
Really?
Yes.
How did I miss that?
Let me actually pull it up because I actually have some comments from it.
Okay.
I asked the question, how many of us are still actively backing crowdfunding projects? So, like I said, I have a couple of
Responses.
We have one from our buddy Jeff Knapp. says, I'm still backing projects. Lately, it's been more expansions, but putting a few bucks into projects I filmed content for so I can get updates. In general, I'm spending on games is way down. Not having any more room might also be a factor. And plus, they're looking at moving because they're looking at buying a house.
Yes.
So he didn't want to keep bringing games in and then move, and the games haven't delivered. Then he has to go through all that, trying to get the games sent to his new address.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
I can
So our next comment was from Mark Huey, our old co-host, which you guys will hear on episode 100.
Yes.
Him and his wife, Jessica, will be here.
Yay.
He said we slowed way down, but still back 6 to 8 years.
6 to 8 a year, maybe?
I missed a word. I was like, what? You have a backup of 6 to 8 years. Let me start that over. Sorry, Mark. We've slowed way down, but still back 6 to 8 a year. Okay. Usually interesting ones that won't make it to retail or from trusted publishers. Boy, I butchered that one all up. I did respond to him on that one and told him, that's kind of one of the things that I asked myself. Mm-hmm. Will this make it to retail?
Right.
Is it only going to be a crowdfunding thing? Do I really want the game?
Right.
Because I had actually said that I keep looking at projects, but I end up convincing myself I don't really need them. I can wait till it comes out because of the uncertainties of the industry. Who knows what's happened with CMON? CMON is about to fall apart.
From CMON in years.
No, CMON is about to fall apart. I don't know if you've kept up on this.
No.
CMON has now barely have any titles left.
I thought they sold off
thing. They sold off. They sold off the Zombie Side IP. They've sold off Ankh and Blood Rage, and I can never remember the third one in that series. They've sold off a lot of stuff.
The Rising Sun.
Asmodee has bought a couple titles, and they're working on with them, trying to get some of the Kickstarter stuff out.
I thought they're in trouble right now. Something that Zombie Side was basically said they're back, and it was under the title of Guillotine Games, which Guillotine Games is who produced them in the first place. Guillotine Games was on the original box.
Yeah, with it as
with a CMON. I imagine they were under
Cool Mini
CMON.
or Not is when Zombie Side first came out.
Yes, so I was happy to see that Guillotine Games has kept that at least. And I have not read anything about it. I literally saw a picture with Guillotine Games' name on it. So I don't know what's happening there, but I was happy to see that.
And then we have John Kohler, who says, I just can't help myself.
We have not backed anything. When you brought up the subject, I pulled up my list, and the last thing we backed was in May. And I
thought I seen it was, mine was April. So it was the last
yours
thing
was
you
April
backed was in May.
Formaggio.
Yes.
I backed Earth Animal Kingdom in May.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a couple projects I've really looked at. I've really started watching videos for. It's like, do I want this game? It looks really cool. Because we just watched a video the other night of a game that looked really interesting to me. And after watching the videos, I can wait. It's not something I need right now.
Yeah.
So it's been hard. I mean,
yeah.
I pull it up all the time and start looking through it. And it's like, nothing really grabs me.
No.
I'm like going, I can get this when it comes out.
I did just pre-order something.
What was that?
It was for Bear Mountain. It was the latest expansion for Bear Mountain.
Yeah.
It's an animal expansion. I did just back. That was $20.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a back. It was more of a pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I suspect they're having it produced with their latest Kickstarter, which probably won't be here for another year, but it's whatever.
I know there is a game out there. It's actually premiering at Essen, and I'm trying to remember the name of the game. It looked really good, and why can I not remember the name?
I don't know.
A few moments later.
It's premiering at Essen this year, which is going on as we're recording right now. And that's Coming of Age. It's a life-changing board game. It looks so cool. It's very colorful. It's got really cool looking cartoonish artwork on it. But you're starting as a kid and you're basically coming of age. You're becoming an adult.
Oh, yeah. I remember you talking about this one. I don't remember when.
Yeah. It's been a few weeks.
Okay.
I think back before I got sick.
Oh, maybe the last episode.
Yeah. No, I did. I don't know if I talked about it on the last episode or not. Like I said, it's been a month since we recorded. But anyway, that is the only game that's really, really attracted my attention that I keep checking on. I keep looking to see if it's for sale. Is it for sale? Is it for sale? Is it for sale yet? But it's just now premiering at Essen. So I imagine it'll come up on Ludanova's website. It's on it. It's just saying coming soon. So after Essen, I imagine it'll go on sale on their website.
Okay.
But they just wanted to premiere at Essen. So
it
might be a game I have to buy from overseas because I want it that bad. So
okay, well,
it sounds really good. But crowdfunding, no, we have not.
No, we haven't backed anything in a while.
I haven't really seen a lot that I've really, really wanted, but I haven't searched that hard.
Yeah,
but I do still get crowdfunding stuff coming across my Facebook feed and everything, and I check out some of them.
And to be fair, I'm kind of like in major saving mode right now.
Yes,
couple of things where we need a new roof. That alone is dictating quite a bit of savings. But we're also trying to save for our anniversary trip in 4 years. We want to take a trip to Europe. And that is not cheap. And so we're kind of in major
especially
saving
the way
mode
we want to do
now.
it. So
yeah, so that has definitely slowed down our board game purchases, which especially fundraising or crowdfunding purchases. But anyhow, yeah, I haven't backed any. I haven't even. Nothing's attracted my attention enough to fork over the money early for it.
So that's the question I posed to all of you listeners. If you want, go over to the Meeple Society page, join the group, join in on some of the comments and questions and posts and everything we have over there, and answer the question there. Or if you're listening to us on YouTube, you can just put it in the comments below. Let's move on.
Okay.
Horror Night. Which is funny. Okay, so this is a Horror Night. This is a board game indie event that we are actually hosting here. It's going to be
in conjunction with another member.
Yeah, and it's going to be a night of just horror-themed games with it wrapping up with The Thing. And the Chad, who's actually hosting, we're co-hosting, has a few copies of The Thing that he wants to play and get a couple of games. He's got, I think he's got like 3 copies of it. He said,
"Yeah."
Right now we have like at least 16 people coming, possibly more.
Last time I checked, I think it was 20 people coming.
Oh, so it's gone up since last time I.
Now I don't know if they'll all want to play The Thing.
No,
I
think there's a few other people say, "Can I just come over and play games?"
Yes.
And that's one of the things we've said. We'll have plenty of tables. You can play whatever you want.
Yep.
It's supposed to be horror themed, but
it's whatever.
It doesn't have to be.
No. It is happening the day after.
Yes,
Halloween,
it's happening November 1st, not before Halloween.
That's when we could get it planned. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So the day after Halloween, if you happen to be in the Indianapolis area, hit us up.
Yeah, we'll let you know where we're at.
Yeah, come join us. Meet some of the other members from the BGI we talk about all the time.
Yep.
It'll be a great time.
Yeah, and this will be the weekend after their whole BillCon thing that they had going on.
Which is happening right now.
Yeah,
it's wrapping up today.
They're probably already coming home by now.
Oh, I imagine so.
They go out to a camp and have a cabin, and they just stay up all night for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then leave on Sunday.
Yes, and we were supposed to go this year.
But we had the dogs.
I had the time off for it, everything. But again, we had the dogs, so we could not. We couldn't justify leaving the house that long with the dogs and the cats and leaving Eric and Journey in charge of all of it because they did not sign up for that. We did.
Hey. So. That's what happens.
It is what it is. That's all right.
Okay. So why don't we talk about some games?
Yes. I think that's a good plan.
Where do you want to start?
You want me to go first?
That's fine.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
Well, no, why don't you go first? Because mine will be kind of an overarching conversation about 2 different games that are tied together. So why don't you go first? Because you've got 2 different games.
Okay. Well, the first one I'm going to talk about is a game that's not even out yet.
Okay.
It is a game that we were asked to do a review for. It is heading to crowdfunding in like a little over a week.
Week and a half, yeah.
I will put a link to it in the show notes if I can remember to. Remind me that when I'm doing editing. To put the link in the show notes.
Somebody remind me.
Yeah,
to remind you.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, this game is called Amrtaka, I believe is the title. It's Amrtaka.
Yes.
The game's called Amrtaka, Battle for Immortality. Here on BGG, this is what he has. Forge your legacy and mythological war. Will you seize immortality or fade into legend? Dive into an epic struggle inspired by an ancient Hindu legend in Samadra Manthana. I think that's what it says. The churning of the cosmic ocean. As a warrior king, lead your kingdom against rivals in race to capture Amrtaka, the elixir of the eternal life. But immortality demands cunning, forge alliance, outmaneuver foes, and harness divine power in this deeply strategic board game where every choice echoes through mystic history.
Well, and we don't want to talk too much about it here because we are going to be doing a full
we're going to be a review, but
week.
I kind of want to give them an idea of this game.
Okay.
So this is a card game. It's not a deck builder, but you do have a hand of cards that have warriors in it. And on the map have little islands. They have the mainlands, which is the ones you're actually trying to seize, to take control of.
Where the cards end up being played.
Where your cards end up. And then you have little warrior tokens that go on the cards to make the cards and the areas that you land in more powerful, to keep people from taking them over for you, where you're starting to get, it's basically victory points. So you're gaining points in this game by taking over unoccupied lands. So you're going to get a point. If you battle another opponent for a land that's already occupied and you take it over, you get 5 points. Or if you have a land and you're teleporting or reinforcing that land and it gets up to 15 power, you now become immortal and get 15 points. First person to 60 points wins the game, or after 30 rounds, the person with the most points wins the game. Like I said, this is the game we're going to review. It'll be coming out on the channel pretty soon, so I don't want to really get down into it. I just want to talk about it a little bit so that you guys know about it. You guys can check it out on GameFound. There is a page up already, a pre-launch page. You can kind of go and see the artwork. The artwork in this game is fantastic. I really like the artwork in this game. But check out our review when it hits the channel. Check out the GameFound page, and it might be something you want to back, might not be. But yes, that is Amrtaka, Battle for Immortality.
Okay. We also got in, over the last week or so, a couple of plays of Terraforming Mars. We've actually gotten 2 plays in of the base game of Terraforming Mars in, and we've got a play of Ares Expedition in. I'm going to kind of talk about the 2 of them, like jointly. So Terraforming Mars is no secret. It is one of my favorite games. It has been my number 1 for quite some time. And I think that was more because of nostalgia than anything else, because I hadn't gotten to play it in so long, but I loved the game. Having played it now 3 times in the last month and a half, because I played it at a ladies' night and then with Doug and Mary and then on our own, a game that lasted 6 hours because we threw every expansion under the sun into it.
Except for Venus next.
Except for Venus, because we don't have Venus.
We don't have it.
And we probably will be buying it just because. Anyway, after playing it 3 times in the last month and a half, I can see why it's still one of my favorites. I absolutely adore this game. So Terraforming Mars, if you are unfamiliar, very brief synopsis, you are essentially terraforming the planet of Mars. Every round you generate some mega credits, your money in the game, along with energy and heat and power, or not power, but steel, titanium, plants, energy and heat, and mega credits are your 6 things that you're generating each round. And then you take turns, you take 2 actions each turn, and it just goes round robin until everybody has passed because everybody's out of resources. You get 4 new cards every round. There are other ways to get some. There are cards that will give you cards. There are ways to generate more cards if you need them. But ultimately, you are building out the city or the planet of Mars by playing various cards. Each of the cards have various powers on them as well as various tags on them. A lot of the cards play off of each other in those tags. For example, you may have a card that says you get this much of something, gain this much mega credits for every plant tag you have, or gain this many plants for every plant tag you have. So you're counting up all your cards. So this is very much a tableau builder, resource management game. Now, we do have the deluxe edition. I think I have played, I don't remember if the first one I played at Ladies Night was deluxe edition or not. I'd have to look back at my pictures. I don't think it was. But the deluxe edition basically ramps everything up with deluxified components, as you would expect. Now, we played that one. Again, this last game lasted 6 hours over 3 nights because we made the mistake of starting it on a Sunday afternoon. Mm-hmm. And we played it all day Monday and all day Tuesday. Well, Monday evening and Tuesday evening as well. We also got into play of Ares Expedition. Now, Ares Expedition has the same concept, but it goes about it a little bit differently. Adds in the mechanism, the action selection mechanism from Race for the Galaxy. So every round, each player is picking one action they need to accomplish that round, whether it be to get resources or to draw cards or to do actions or to build cards or to build, it's either green cards or the blue or red cards. And off the top of my head, I don't remember the difference between them. The green cards were production cards. The blue and red cards were everything else, if I remember correctly. But those were the 5 various actions you could choose to do in a specific round. So everybody chooses which one they're doing. If 2 people chose the same action, that's okay. Just you didn't get to do somebody else's action. That's all, because you can only do each action one time. So each player plays out their action cards. Everybody does this simultaneously. You flip over the actions everybody's chosen, starting with the first action, which is development. This is playing down green cards. The person who chose that action gets a little bit of a benefit. Everybody else can still do the action, though. After everybody's built what they can build, they've paid for their cards, whatever they want to do, then you move on to construction. This is the blue and red cards. Again, everybody can do this action if they're able to. The person who chose the action as their primary gets an extra benefit. Then you move on to the actions. Again, same thing, production, and then finally research. Research being to pull new cards. You only get 1 card this way, though, unless you chose the benefit, and then you actually get to keep 2 of them. However, this one does have the ability to generate cards. So when you do production, you are generating your plants, you are generating your heat, and you are possibly even generating cards and your money. So biggest differences between the two, yes, it plays very similar. The board, though, is just oceans. It's all the ocean tiles laid out and flipped upside down. When you place an ocean, you choose which one to flip over, and it gives you a couple bonuses. It might give you some extra cards or some money or some plants or whatever. It gives you a couple bonuses. Just like in the base game, every time you flip an ocean, you get your TR rating goes up, which is essentially your money and your victory points. Every time you pay 8 plants to do a forestry tile, mind you don't put forestry tiles down on this planet. You just get a token that tells you get a victory point at the end of the game, but you still get your TR rating still goes up. Oxygen level still goes up. Anytime you raise the temperature, you still get a TR rating. So all of the same reactions are there. Everything builds the same way. The cards are different. And how you interact with the planet itself is a little bit different. Very much different, because the only thing you're laying out on the planet is the oceans. You're no longer putting cities and plants and stuff down. They both have their place. I feel like Terraforming Mars is this grand game that when I really want something chunky, I know I want to spend the whole afternoon just building something.
And the next day. And the next day.
Shush. If we had started earlier, we could have gotten it done in one day. But that's one of those meaty games where I just want to sink my teeth into. But if I want that same feel, I still want to play Terraforming Mars, but I don't want to spend 6 hours on it or even 4 hours on it.
Mm-hmm.
Ares Expedition is a good alternative. That being said, we discovered that there was a 2-player cooperative version.
Yes.
So we played that. I can't say I'm a big fan of that. It was hard. You still have to have your complete energy up, or not your energy, I'm sorry, your temperature completely up, your oxygen completely up, all 9 oceans flipped over, and a combination of 80 points between the 2 players. I think we were at 40 something. And I think our temperature was about halfway. Our oxygen was barely started.
Well, I think the temperature was just starting to get into the red. It was like 2 or 3 spots into the red.
Maybe. I thought we had gotten it a little higher in the last round, because we had actually gotten quite a bit done in the last round. But we were still nowhere close to winning this game. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try it again now that we have a feel for it, but at the same time, it started so slow. It was kind of hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to get an engine going especially in the cooperative one.
Yes.
Like I said, because you only have a limited amount of time to do it in.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get some type of engine. When you play it cooperative, you just got to go all out.
All out.
Just get these things taken care of first. Don't worry about your engine. Just go. But if you're not getting any money, can't get the cards, can't get things out.
And the money is tight in this one at the start. Yeah. It really is. Because you only start at 5 TR, unlike the regular game where you start at 20.
Yeah.
Now the cards are a little cheaper, but there were still some really expensive cards in there.
Well, you do have your corporation cards.
You do, and that did give you some to start with. But as far as when you do production and getting more money later in the game,
and most of the corporation cards came with you upgraded one of your resources.
Yes,
and then it gave you an extra power. If you do this, you can do that.
Yeah. Now, we've played Ares Expedition a total of 3 times. We played it the first time at the retreat, and
got taught wrong.
We were taught wrong. There is a 10-card limit, unlike the regular game where there is no hand limit, because you're buying all of your cards. We were taught there was no hand limit in this, and unfortunately, the lady who taught it to us at one point, I kid you not, had 30 or 40 cards in her hand.
Yeah, because she kept having a card that when she drew cards, she got this many more cards.
Yeah. And she had something laid out where she was generating cards like crazy.
Yeah.
And I think she was doing it wrong. But at the time, we didn't know. We decided to give it a second chance, and we did pick it up because I found it on sale somewhere. And the second play was a whole lot better because we discovered that rule. And I did really enjoy the second play. This cooperative was our third play, and I mean, it was still fun. I'm glad we played it. I'm glad we tried it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like the cooperative.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I like the cooperative because it's such a fast game.
It is. 15 rounds tops, or 16 rounds.
We got halfway through that, and we're like going, we're not going to finish this. No. We're not going to win this. Why are we even continuing on? There was a couple times I was like, we might as well just stop. There's no way we can do this.
No.
Because I think we were halfway through before we really even started moving the oxygen and heat.
Yeah. Yeah, you only get 15 rounds. So in the cooperative game, that's tough. I would not mind playing this again sometime soon as a regular game.
Yeah.
I do really enjoy this one. That being said, I'll break out Terraforming Mars anytime. Actually, all I have to do is take Terraforming Mars to ladies' night, and I know I'll get it played.
Well, this time we played Terraforming Mars. I really enjoyed it because I got an engine early.
Yes, you did.
Normally, I struggle even trying to build an engine, and this time, I mean, it was maybe 4 rounds, and all of a sudden I had this engine that was working really good for me.
You had a good engine.
I was just exploiting it.
I had a good engine, but mine did not come about as quickly as yours did because mine was built on gaining mega credits. Yours was built on gaining titanium.
Yeah, because,
And you had one heck of a titanium engine going.
And that's the cards I was buying was all the space cards. And if you did this with the titanium card, you could get this and if you spend the titanium on this card, then it'll take your ME up or MC up. And
I did say we played this with all the expansions. So obviously Prelude's a no-brainer. You just throw the cards in.
Yes.
It actually jumpstarts the game just a little bit.
And we've played with Prelude a bunch
of
times.
We've never played without Prelude since getting it years ago. And I've even got Prelude 2 and we threw that in too. This was the first time though we had played the Hellas and Elysium map. We've had it for years.
Yeah.
We finally played the map. Right. And it was no different.
No.
It literally was the flip side of Mars.
Yeah.
Is all it stated. It was the other side of the planet. So that was nothing different. There were some different, what are they called? The awards and milestones were different.
Yes, they were.
So that was interesting because we had completely different awards and milestones than we were used to. And I do have that little mini expansion, the awards and milestone expansion that just came out with Prelude 2. We didn't bother using it because we were playing a map that was brand new to us anyway. Yeah. So the awards and milestones were all new anyway. We played with colonies.
Yep.
I really liked colonies.
Colonies was cool.
Colonies takes and puts some of the moons that are in the solar system out on the side, and you can build colonies on these different moons and then go out to it costs $15 to put a colony down. To get a colony on, is it 17? Either way, it was expensive. You spend so much money to put a colony out. And then you can travel to that colony from the base board. You can travel between the colonies for, I think it was either 9 mega credits, 3 energy, or 3 titanium you had to spend in order to travel between all the colonies. And the different colonies they were all just a little different.
Oh, it was 17.
It was 17, okay. So, like, there was one that gave extra plants. There was one that gave energy. They were basically producing different things. So if you needed more energy, and at one time I really needed energy. I had a hard time getting my energy built up. Then I could go out to Callisto, which was the energy producing one. And if I had a colony there, then I would get 3 extra, which I did. I had a colony there at the time. And then there's a track along the bottom of each of the colonies. And each round that nobody goes there, that track just ticks up a mark.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it'll jump from producing no energy to producing 2 to 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 and then finally 13. And they're all just a little bit different. That was the energy one. So maybe I think at the time I went out there, neither of us had been out there for a while. So the energy had ticked all the way up to 10. Plus I had a colony there, so I got 3 extra. So I got 13 energy. That was beneficial. It was able to let me increase the heat the temperatures the next round because that energy all translated into heat at the end of the round. So it's just, I don't know. I love this. I don't see us playing without this one again.
Yeah. And I like
really
how
liked this.
You have
this
the
system.
upgrade little covers for them too, because I can see the tracking
bumped,
keep getting knocked. It's like, oh, where was that at? But now the covers for them, now they lock them in place.
It makes them dual layered basically, which I like.
Yep.
So I picked those up when I first picked up the expansion and had never played it.
Mm-hmm.
We also played the Turmoil expansion. This one was more political than anything else, and I wasn't sure I was going to like this when we first started off with it. There is a political Senate board, basically, that everything is tracked in. There's 6 different factions on this board.
Yeah.
And each faction has their own agenda, what they think is best for Mars and or Earth, because some of these all tie in with the colonization. So throughout the game, you are putting out your delegates to either become the party leader, hopefully the Senate leader, so that you are actually in charge of the whole thing and you're getting influence based on that. There are cards that are making their way across the bottom of the board that one will put out neutral delegates into different places at various points, but they also trigger things to happen. So you know it's coming. 3 rounds before it comes that it's coming. And some of them are good. Some of them are, hey, gain mega credits for each one of these tags that you have. Others were not so good. One of the problems with this one, and one that slowed down the game drastically, was that every single round at the start of the Senate phase, of the turmoil phase, everybody lost a mega credit.
Yeah.
So, or lost a TR rating.
I'm
sorry.
Yes,
you lost a TR rating, which is your victory points. It's also your money, though, every round. So by the end of it, by the time we finished the 6th hour, I actually liked this board. Mm-hmm. It actually gave a lot of variability to what was happening.
Yeah, it like you say, it gives you 2 extra actions because one, you get to put a lobbyist out there for free in an area, and another one, you pay 5 more credits. You can put a second one out there. And it kind of gives you a chance to take over an area where if you become the seated person, your policy comes up, and you're usually doing it because, hey, I need this to come up. And like the one I was really always wanting to do was the Unity, was it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was the Unity, because that made the titanium worth 4 instead of 3, and my whole engine was based on titanium. So,
and see, I was always going after the plant one because my engine was built on plants and on gaining mega credits from plants. And that one, every time you put a forest out, you got 4 mega credits for it. So I was spending 8 plants and getting 4 mega credits right back every time that one was in control. So I actually really like this. Will we play with it every time? I don't know.
I would say
but I liked it.
We need to get Justin over here and play this, and I think Jackie could probably handle this because I think they've played Terraforming Mars before now.
Yeah.
So
I think they've played on their own, and I know she enjoys it.
So yeah, she might be able to get into this too. I know Justin, especially when there's a government thing in there.
Oh,
he's all about that.
He's all about the government stuff. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Have absolutely loved every play I've had of Terraforming Mars in the last month and a half. But I've very much enjoyed these expansions. So now now we're on to picking up Venus, apparently.
Yeah,
which is another map, from what I understand, as well. So okay, but that's Terraforming Mars and Ares Expedition.
So now I'm going to talk about Tekhenu, Obelisk of the Sun, along with its expansion, Time of Set. I believe it's the only expansion that Tekhenu has. I'm going to double check. I think they got like promo packs and everything, so it tells you it has 6 expansions, but I think Time of Set, if I'm not mistaken, is only the true expansion that came out. The
rest are all promo stuff.
I mean, we do have the Foundations of Karnak, or Karnak. We didn't play with it.
Okay.
We haven't even punched it. That was that little...
Oh, was that little
tiles.
pack that looked like...
those tiles.
we need to just combine
There is one, the Warmth of a Cat mini expansion.
Oh, well, okay. What is that?
I don't know. And then there's some noble buildings.
He's totally skipping right over
And then there's
that
a loot box one, which I'm not sure exactly what that one is either. I'm not sure if some of these are fan-made.
Oh, I don't know.
This Obelisk of the Sun, Warmth of the Cat mini expansion is probably that. It's adding
got kitty cats. You can put kitty cats on your buildings.
Oh, goody. That's just what we need in that game.
I want that.
That's okay. Anyway, so let's get back to the game itself. So if you've never heard of this game, I'll read a little bit of the description. Join ancient pharaohs in creating and growing one of the most impressive sights the world has seen, honoring the Egyptian gods Horus, Ra, I think it's Hathor. I don't know my Egyptian gods that well. Bastet, Thoth, and Osiris. You must carefully manage the balance of your action, preparing for the reckoning by the goddess Mate. I'm sorry, I don't know the Egyptian gods that well. Okay, so that's kind of the setting. It's the Egyptian gods. You're building things for them. This game is so kind of difficult to explain. They explain it really well on BGG.
I say there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of read what they have. You'll get an idea of what it is, and then we'll kind of talk about it. The game board is divided into 6 sections, each associated with an Egyptian god. I'm not going to go and rename all those gods again. In the center stands an impressive obelisk, the Tekhenu, that casts a shadow onto different parts of the board. As a result, the areas around the obelisk is divided into sunny, shaded, and dark sections, depending on how the obelisk casts a shadow at that particular moment. As the game progresses, the sun's rotation alters which sections are sunny, shaded, or dark. The game takes place over multiple rounds. Each round, players draft dice and perform actions associated with the value of the die of the selection from which the die was drafted. Dice come in 5 colors, and each die is considered pure, tainted, or forbidden, depending on the color of the die and the position on the obelisk shadow. While you may never draft forbidden dice, you are free to draft any other die, whether pure or tainted. So that kind of gives you an idea. Now, what are you doing with the dice? You're taking these dice to the different areas, but you are taking it to the area of the where the obelisk is at. So, like, if I take a dice from the Osiris area, I'm doing an action in the Osiris area with that dice, or I'm using that dice to gain resources, because each color kind of has a resource except for gray. And then when the expansion comes in, then there's another one, more dice. There's a green one that has no resource to it. Right. It can only be, it's just another dice. It's like another gray dice almost. Mm-hmm. On your turn, say like you took a dice action from one of the areas. Like I said, I don't remember I know the raw symbol. Let's start there. So in the raw area, if you put a dice down, there is 3 areas of temple pieces where you're going to build a column in the temple, but it shows you, it has colors on it. but there's 3 stacks. And then under each stack, like one stack has a 6 and a 5, the other stack has a 4 and a 3, and the other stack has a 2 and a 1. So whatever number your dice is, you're going to build that tile. Now that tile has a border on it that has 2 different colors, and over in the temple area has colored outlines. If you match those up with another border, either the outside edge of the temple or the edge of another tile, you're going to get a point. You match up 2, you get 2 points. There are areas in the temple, if you lay it down, when you match it up, they score you an extra point for each match you have. There's also on the tile, tells you how much you have to pay for it, and you're going to be paying limestone or granite, usually a number of each, or all of one, or whatever. And it's usually at least 4. Some of them have 3 resources you have to have. Most of them are 4. Once you pay that and you put it over, now it also has a shaded area in the middle of the tile with an action on it. If you take a dice that has a dark area and you took that dice from the shaded area that matches, you can, once you place that tile out, you get to do that action. So sometimes it may give you an action, a free action in another area with a value dice of a certain number. So that's the raw area. You're building temples in the area, in another area, basically the temple area. And when you're putting it down, they have area tracks that it's gridded out and it has resources on it. And when you put your tower tile down with your column on it, you're going to get the resource that you just put down on. So if I stuck it in an area that had 2 bread, I get 2 bread. Then Hathor, I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, is an area where you're building buildings around the temple. And when you build a building in a temple area, you really kind of want to make it sure that you're in an area that's going to cross over with one of your columns. Because at the end of the game, it's going to score you points. But when you build that building down, you're going to get one of each resource in that row that doesn't have a column on it. Even though some of them show more than multiples of resources on it, you only get one of that type of resource. You don't get all that. And then like I said, at the end of the game, you're going to get points for your tower, your columns in there and buildings in there. But when you place your building, you're going to get all the one of each type of resource, like I said. You're going to gain 3 points if you have a tower in there when you place that building. And then whatever number dice is that you played in that area, you're going to get population. And you have a population and a happiness tracker at the bottom that plays into different things during the game. There is another area where you can go and you can play a dice to get happiness, but you're going to have to pay 2 papyrus. So you're going to have to get papyrus. And then it also has an area where, like, if you have a 1 and 2, you're only going to get 2 scribes. Scribes allow you to change your dice number. Or there's a 3 or 4 where you get 1 scribe, or 5 and 6, you get nothing except you're going to get 5 or 6 happiness. So what do you do with the happiness? Well, if we move over, there is an area that has workshops and quarries. And this is where the majority of the buildings are going to. And where you do that is you pay a happiness, and then you take your die roll, and there's columns and rows. The rows are marked with dice numbers, and the columns are the columns of the different resources. So like, say I went here and I had a 4. So I'm going to put my dice at the 4. I'm going to build in row 4. I'm going to pay my 1 happiness, which means I move back on the happiness track. I'm going to build in the area where it's going to allow me to go up on the limestone 2 levels. You have on your player board a tracker for all your resources, and it tells you how many resources you can actually take at a time. The higher you get, the more at a time you can. It's not how many you can keep in your reserve. It's how many, when you're getting resources, how many you get to keep. So like, say if I'm at a 3 and I take a 6 of that for that resource and use it for resources, I'm only able to take 3 of them. The other 3 have to go on the tainted side of my board. I'll get to that in a second. So that's the building. And then there's the temple building where you go in and you pay on your board you have temples, and under the temples it tells you how much granite you need to build that temple. Now you can build a temple for the people, or you can build a temple for the gods. Temple for the people, it's a temple that goes in the different areas. Like over in the temple area, you can build I should say that statues you're building. Temple area, you can build a statue over there. It's going to get you points. You can build them in the where the quarries and mines are, or quarries and workshops are at, and it becomes at the top. You'll get a gold for doing it, and then it counts as having one building in the 2 columns that's below it. And if there's a tie in that, if you have the temple, it breaks the tie because you are the highest one on that. But when you build a temple for the gods, it goes around the obelisk. And then on this, in that area, it'll say, like, if somebody pulls a dice from Ra and you have a temple there, you are now going to get either 2 more population or 3 of the, I don't remember what those tokens were called. They were the balance tokens, I think is what they were.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that in just a second, they did.
Yeah. I don't remember what they're called.
But yeah, each god, if you had a temple in that area and somebody took a dice from that area, you would get something for it.
Right.
Which was why you would want to build temples. There's another area that I passed up where you can go down and you put your dice down, and some of it allows you a 1 and 2. You don't have to spend any papyrus, but you're going to get these cards, and these cards are going to give you either an instant action or instant ability or an ongoing ability. And there's like 4 different levels, like there's the tan, the red, the green, and the blue. The farther down, when you get down to the blue, there's in-game scoring cards in there. So you want to go down there and get cards, sometimes for things that are going to happen, powers you'll have during the game, and then in-game scoring you really want. And sometimes those powers that are instant are good to have too.
Yeah. Depends on how quickly you can get them.
Yeah. So let's talk about the player board real quick here. The player board, like I said, has an area that holds where you hold your cubes for your resources, so you know how many you can take at a time. And there's a track there for each of the resources: the papyrus, the bread, the limestone, and the granite. And if you get, at any time you get it up to level 6, anytime during the scoring phase or the map phase, you score 2 points. Then on the side there, it has a scale, the little hanging basket scales. One side is tainted, the other side is good. I think that's what it's called. Pure. One side's pure, one side's tainted. So depending on where you take your dice is which side you put your dice on. And what you're trying to do is keep it balanced. So say I have a 6 and 4 in the tainted side and I only have a 3 on the pure, we're scoring balance of them when everybody has 4 dice. So I've got to make sure when I take this dice, I get a little closer to balance. And I'll say I'm not balanced and I'm off by 2, and I have some of those balance tokens that I gained through the rounds of play. I can add those to add pips to the pure side to balance it out. Because why are you wanting to balance it out? That's how the first player token is switched. So the closer to balance, because on the other side of the board, there is a track. One side has positive numbers and a 0, and the other side has negative numbers. So say on my turn during the balancing phase, I was 1 over. I was 1 to the good. So I would put my token on the 1 on the good side. Say Katie was 3 to the bad.
Which is usually
she was negative
happens.
3, which is usually where it was happening. So she'd put it on the 3 negative side. So the first player would become whoever's the closest to perfectly balanced. So my 1 would become first player. Katie would become 3. But now that since Katie had -3 to the bad side, she would lose a victory point. And then she would go into second because we were only playing a 2-player game.
I still won this game, so I don't care.
Yes, by 1 point.
By 1 point.
And only because there was something I did and I regret doing it, and that's why I ended up with 1 point behind you. But at the end of the game, if you have... Oh, I remember now. I'll tell you that when we discuss the game. At the end of the game, if you are the first player, you're going to score 3 points. You get an extra 3 points. But that's kind of the gameplay as to what's going on with that. You're going to score points depending on where your happiness marker is on the track, depending on how many of the triangles on top of the track you pass up. I never got past the triangle with my happiness. You did, so you got points there.
Mm-hmm.
And And how I lost by 3 points, we were going into the pretty much almost the last turn. And I noticed she had no in-game scoring cards. And I opened my mouth and said, hey, you have no in-game scoring. And on that turn, she picked up 2 in-game scoring cards.
I did.
And that's what cost me the game. She won it by 1 point.
I did.
I was pretty much in the lead through this. Well, scoring-wise throughout the game, you were in the lead the whole time. But I knew I had a ton of in-game scoring.
Yeah. I had a little bit,
and I was like, she's going to be so mad at me with her. She in the lead by like 10 points, at least 10 points most of the game. And then I come back and beat her by like 20 or 30. But I didn't. I opened my mouth, said, hey, you have no in-game scoring. I don't know if you realize that. And he was like, how do you do that? And I said, well, it's these cards down there. And you took advantage of it and said, yep, that's where I'm going.
They were sitting right in front of my face the whole game.
Yes, you were sitting right. Yeah, the cards were all sitting in front of you. In front of you, so
that's all right.
The game itself is a lot of fun. We played it with time of set, and the only thing that added to the game,
it added another god to go visit.
Yeah, it allowed you to go to visit set, and when you went to visit set, you had soldiers and priests there. It also added blue and red dice and green dice. Green dice were more like the gray dice. The blue dice and the red dice, if you use them, you automatically got to go up the track. So if you use the blue dice, like say you used a blue 4 someplace in the other boards, because you couldn't use them on the set board, you would go up that many priests. Or if you used the red dice, you would go up that many of the knights. These were used for doing different things. There was new Ankh cards at the that you would draft at the beginning of after every map phase that would give you a one-time power.
If you could afford to pay the priest,
you would use the priest to buy them. Yes.
Yeah.
The soldiers were to build a building on the set board.
Correct.
And the way you did that, there was always 2 gray dice. You start off with dice on the set board. In a 2-player game, it's only 2 dice, and you would pick a dice from there and use it, not from the obelisk. And you would go to wherever that number dice was on the board. You would build that building. You'd get the bonuses for it and the in-game scoring for it. That didn't refill like the obelisk did.
No.
It only refilled 1 dice.
Well, you would, when you were refilling the obelisk, if you pulled gray dice out, one of those gray dice went to the set board if it needed it.
Right. So if you're playing on the side of that board that had 4 of them and you used all 4 of them and only 1 gray dice came out.
You only refilled 2 sections at a time.
Yeah. You only filled.
Board,
yeah. So if you were out of dice on the set board and you never pulled a gray dice, you couldn't do anything on the set board. It added a little bit of extra to it. I don't know if it's really needed. It's an extra area.
Yeah. It was okay. It just gave me more to have to focus on. And I feel like this game already has a lot to focus on.
Yeah.
So I don't know that.
So I don't know if it's essential that you have it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to have.
Yeah. No
and we'll show you a picture of everything set up. But
because like this one, you're only playing 8 rounds. It's not like one of those games where you're playing until a specific thing happens, like Terraforming Mars, where conditions have to be met to end the game. No, this is, you play 8 rounds. Done.
Yes. Yep.
That's it. So it
didn't really add to the length of the game.
It didn't add to the length of the game
at all. It just gave you one more thing to
have to focus on.
And this is one of those you can't say, okay, my thought is I'm going to do this. This is where I'm going to go get my points. Now, you really need to pay attention to all the other ones.
Yes.
Especially
I mean, you have your initial end game scoring at the beginning of the game. You do get that initial card.
Yeah.
And it's like mine was, I got an extra point for every building not on my player board.
Yeah.
So my focus was get those buildings off. And the set board gave me a place to do that. So I did end up getting 1 or 2 out there. I don't
remember what mine was now. But I don't think, it wasn't. And it wasn't something I went after because I completely forgot about it. It was the temple.
Okay.
Building columns and buildings around the temple. And I only did that twice. I built 1 building in
one column.
Yeah, in 1 column.
Yeah.
The whole game.
No, mine was just get the buildings off the board. Off my player board. So I kept going after the quarries and the what is that? Quarries and
the mines, or the quarries and the workshops. Yeah, you had a lot in there. I only had a couple of those in there.
I did a couple around the temple because I could. Again, it's another place to get buildings off my player board. So.
I went after statues.
Yeah,
I did a lot of the statues.
You did a lot of
I had a statue on almost every one of the gods,
except for the one I did.
Yeah. Well, two of them you would go to and do it before I could get my gods there, and you built the one where I really wanted to build because I knew you seemed to be going after. I was like, I need to get a god down there.
Nope. I did that on
this
purpose
turn I'm going to get that god down here.
There.
Yeah, so
and
this
that got
turn
my happiness up every time. So,
and there was a dice there that I could really use to make it. Put the god down there, and you beat it to me.
Too late.
Anyway, so that is Tekhenu, Obelisk of the Sun with Time of Set, the expansion. Let's move on to our first look. Okay, so today on our first look, we are going to talk about a game Katie really, really likes, and I enjoy it. This is T-Witches.
All right, so T-Witches, and we have not done this with any other game the entire episode.
No, we have not.
Because we really suck at this. T-Witches came out this year, 2025. Plays 2 to 4 players in 60 to 120 minutes, give or take. Ages 12 and up. Designed by Manny Vega, art by Sundara Tang, and published by The Op. Which I did not realize The Op published this.
And she is the one who did Flamecraft.
She is the one who did Flamecraft. Okay.
Yes.
T-Witches. We picked this one up on our way back from the retreat. I got a chance to play it at Ladies' Night. Took 4 hours, but to be fair, we were learning it from the rule book as we played. And I was very distracted because I was hosting Ladies' Night that night, and there were 40 people in my house, and I was trying to be a good host and play a game at the same time. So I was getting up between all of my turns. I lost miserably, I will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So, T-Witches, I'm just going to read a little bit of this. Again, there's just a lot going on here. So in T-Witches, tea vendors from across the land must summon and serve lines of witches in order to gain their loyalty, all while sending out magical tea pups to entice celebrities and find ways to further enhance their prestige by growing their loyal fan base, upgrading their hut to maximize service, and collecting all of the right tips and toppings. They can prove that their tea reigns supreme. So this plays over a total of 4 rounds. Each day, you are sending out 2 or 3 of your teapups, which are essentially teapots. They are magical teapots that you are putting out onto action spots into one of the fair locations on the board. So the board is divided into, it's a hexagonal board, first of all. It is divided into 6 different shops, more or less.
Kind of
Flamecraft-like. Yeah. 6 different shops. Each shop does something specific. So, for instance, there is one where you can go to get first look at all of the upgrades that you can put onto your player board that will, into your storehouse, that will let you store tea and toppings until you can use them to serve the witches in line at your shop. There is another one directly across from it where all of the leftovers go to, where you can go to pick up shops at a discount. Problem is you can only buy one there instead of multiples. There is a shop where you can go to serve celebrities. Celebrities want something very specific, but they are extra points at the end of the game if they become loyal customers and stay loyal customers. We'll come back to that. There is one where you can just go and pick up toppings. Simple as that. It gives you extra toppings, and toppings are important because the witches like their toppings in their teas. There is one, I'm trying to remember what some of the other ones is. There's ones where you can pick up advanced wards to go onto your player board. There are hex wards out there that will protect some of your witches from being hexed so that they don't have to leave your line. And then there's the to-go order play area where you can fill your teacup with anything you want. That was the bonus of that area. And then you can pick up a to-go order that you can fill, and those are extra points at the end of the game if you've got them filled. There is a fountain in the middle of the board that it rotates around, so you can rotate the fountain around to bring the tea that you need to fulfill your orders to where you are. Because one of the things you get to do is take a tea from that area and put it into your teacup, your teapup. As long as that tea remains in the teapup for that day, that tea is magical. You don't have to remove it. It can just automatically fill orders right there from that pot. You don't have to physically remove it and spend it. But at the end of each round, you're going to clear all of your teapups. They're all going to come back to your shop. You're going to empty them out and put them into storage, and then you can use that in the next round to fill orders. You start off the game with a deck of cards. Everybody has the exact same deck of cards, exact same witches in their decks. But you're shuffling all these witches up, and you're laying them out one by one. And this is where pressure luck comes into play in this game. You're laying them out one by one under your board. You have the ability to protect 3 witches from being hexed. The first 3 cards that you turn over. After that, your witches are eligible to be hexed, or they are at risk of being hexed. You're laying the cards out one by one. A witch gets hexed if you turn over 2 witches of the same color, essentially coming from the same sect, or the same coven, I guess is what it would be called. If that happens, you have to clear everything out of line up to the first witch of that color, provided that witch wasn't protected, in which case you just... It details in the rule book how to cover that. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly what you remove if that first witch is protected. But regardless, you're still losing witches if you get hexed. The only way around that is to be careful what you pull, to stop before it happens. But then the person who has the most witches in line is the person who goes first that round. So it's a give and take type of thing. So now you've got all your witches in line. Some of these are they're not truly witches. They just give you extra bonuses provided you don't lose them to a hex. So you might get an extra coin. You might get an extra teacup, or not teacup, but extra teas. You might get extra toppings, whatever. So you get all of that stuff that you're entitled to, and then you take those out of line and the lines squish up. Now, in turn order, based on whoever had the most teas and the most witches in line, and then from there you just go round robin. You're putting out your teapups into various locations. Each shop has 3 actions that you can do, 3 action locations you can do. Usually the middle one, anybody can go to, or there's a couple of them where as many people as want to go to that shop can go to that shop. Most of them only one person can go to, though. And that may give you 3 actions, or 2 actions and a specific topping, or 1 action and 2 different toppings, or it's some combination of 3 things. Actions include turning the fountain in the middle of the board. That's an action. Taking a tea from there and putting it into your teapup. That's an action. Taking a second tea and putting it into your teapup, which essentially kicks the first tea you put in out and goes into your storage area. That's an action. So all of this can be done as various actions. Once you've done your actions, you've collected whatever you can do. You've done the special ability on that shop. Again, whether it's to serve a celebrity, to get an extra ward, to enhance the wards that are already pre-built on your board, whether it is to get a to-go order. To-go orders are very specific types of tea. You serve them, and actually you don't even serve them. The to-go orders are kind of interesting because you just have to line the pups that are in a specific shop with whatever tea is being offered on the turnstile. If all of whatever is on your to-go order, if it is available in any one shop, you've filled the to-go order because it's all magical. Mm-hmm. You don't actually have to spend the teas. It just has to be available in one shop, and that to-go order is considered completed. That's kind of interesting the way that plays out. So halfway through the game, you're getting a 3rd pup. So the first 2 rounds of the game, the first 2 days of the game, you've only got 2 actions. The second 2 rounds, you've got 3 actions. That's it. So it's not, I feel like it's still a long game because there's a lot to think about. But overall, I mean, essentially you've got 10 actions the whole game. So now as you fulfill orders with the tea and you fulfill the witch's orders, they become loyal customers. And you flip them over once you've fulfilled their order. You get a bonus off of them every time you serve them. And it could be money. It could be loyalty points. So there is a loyalty track across the top of your board. When you get to 10, you get this free ticket that essentially lets you serve a loyal witch for free. But as soon as you use that ticket, you lose it. If you don't use them by the end of the game, they're victory points. But that is one way to keep a loyal witch loyal, because they are worth a whole lot more to you as loyal witches than those tickets are at the end of the game. Same goes with the celebrities. If you fill an order for a celebrity, he becomes a loyal customer. You have to continue serving him every round, or he goes away. He finds someplace else to go get his tea from. All right, so that is essentially it. Like I said, you are completing tea orders, serving the witches and the celebrities. You're earning money. You're upgrading your tea so that you can store more in it. Some of the upgrades will also give you extra victory points at the end of the game. At the end of the fourth day, the player with the most prestige, i.e. the most witches served, the most points earned through various things, wins the game. Simple as that. So, like I said, a lot going on here.
Yes, it was.
I want to say it's simple because you've only got a few things you can do each turn. You pick a location, you do everything at that location you can do. It's simple as that. But there's a lot of nuances to it. The tea that's magical, you don't actually have to spend it. But if it's in your house, in your storage area, you actually have to spend it to use it. But if it's on the board, that's magic.
Yeah, so it was always like going, how can I get my teapots around so I can get those into the teas to be able to serve a lot of these witches with just that tea without spending anything there and still going and getting the tea to put in your storage, but you got to get the upgrades to be able to put more teas in your storage and the fact that, if I put this tea here, then that all of a sudden this will make this type of tea as well.
Yes,
some
of the storage compartments, you could put a green tea in it, but anything that was there could be spent as a purple tea. You could magically transform it to purple tea if that's what the witch wanted. So those were really nice to have.
So this has a resource management with the teas on the board. It has an engine building with the upgrades in your storage area, because if you put this here, you can make this with that, or if I be able to put those there, this will hold that. If I get these toppings in this one, I automatically get another one.
Yeah.
And that was cool. It's also, what was I getting ready to say? It has, like you said, it has the pressure luck. By putting the cards out, because you get those cards out. I was like, oh, good, that one's out there. And then you're like, I'm going to go one more. And look at that. You
just lost half your line.
I just lost all those cards. Now I can't get those cards anymore. But it's really good, though, if the card that comes out that's past your wards is the one card that says nothing to the left of this card can be affected by the hex, that's always good. But most of the time when I was playing, that would be almost the first card that I would draft. It's like, well, that does me no good there.
Yep. No, I like there's one card that says you can trade this card with any other witch in your line. Trade that hex one.
Yes.
Move that sucker to the end. Yeah.
Get it out of there.
No, I love that. Yeah, there's some good witches in there.
Yeah. But you're trying to get that tea in your pots where you needed it. The tea in the area, the rotating board with the tea in the area you really wanted it in to get that to-go order taken care of, plus serve as many as you want. Yeah, there is so many different mechanics going on in this game.
Yeah.
When I first looked at it, I was like, oh, this is going to be one. It's great artwork. It looks really nice. Got a lot of great components. Is there game in it? Yeah, there's a big game.
Lot of game in this one.
Oh, it's another one of those cutesy little games. But yeah, there is a cool game of... And like I said, it has an engine building in there, so you can't go wrong with a game that has an engine builder in there to help your game out. And then the little rewards you get at the end of the day, too, kind of helps out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and every witch you serve, you're getting, whether they're loyal witches or first time in line witches, you're getting a benefit off of them every time you serve, whether it's money or loyalty points, you're getting something off of them. I've really enjoyed both plays of this that we've had. I don't remember who won this. Well, I've had 2 plays. You've had 1. You beat me by 4 points.
Yeah, there you go. When I first saw this, I was like going, oh, it's Flamecraft again with witches now. And it's really not. I mean, it does have the shops, but it doesn't have the same.
It doesn't have the same feel as Flamecraft.
Yeah, Flamecraft is like this game basic.
Yeah, it really is.
But there's so much more going on in this game.
Yes.
Because of all the components and all the different mechanisms that are in this game. Yeah,
we picked this up without playing it on the way home because so many people at the retreat, it was a hot commodity at the retreat.
Yes, it was never on the shelf.
No, it was not. And every person I had talked to that had played it said it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with that, and we picked it up on the way home. We kept seeing it in stores. So I went ahead and finally bought it, and I'm not disappointed with it.
Yeah, it's not a cheap game.
No, it was not a cheap game. It's very well produced. I think it's very colorful. The artwork is cute.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has a really neat table presence. That turnstile in the middle of the table just really makes it pop off the table. So, yeah, very much like this one.
So that is our first look at T-Witches. So this is going to do it for episode 98. If you like this episode or any of our content and haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do so by going to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And while you're there, give us a rating and comments. This is how others can find the show. But in the meantime, if you want to follow us on social media just to keep up with us and see what we're doing, just follow the link in the show notes. There you'll find links to Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, Discord, Blue Sky, and our merch shop. Or you can contact us directly at meeplesociety@mail.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the next one.